So over the past day or so, some rather interesting information in regards to the next iteration of the PlayStation 5 has come to light. And this news has kind of gotten me wonder about what this could mean for the future of our consoles and what implications they could have as well. So this news is being reported to us by Insider Gaming and was also covered by the Spawnwave Plus YouTube channel. And that's Sony is currently working on a new version of the PlayStation 5 that will come with a detachable disc drive. Now it's said that this console will release sometime in September of 2023, and it will phase out our current PS5s, meaning the disc-based and all digital versions will be gone, and this will be the main one that's going to be sold. As for how the console is going to look, it is said to look identical to the current all-digital PS5. However, that detachable disc drive will attach to the back of the console via a USB-C port. And what's really interesting is they're saying that aesthetically it's going to blend into the console and it will not look like a detachable drive is sticking out of the console itself. So I'm really curious to see what this drive is going to actually look like and how is it going to blend in with the current PS5 without looking kind of funky. They're saying that the drive itself will be portable, meaning it will be sold on its own. However, it will also come bundled with that new PS5 as well, which would also make the PS5 much lighter. Now, Sony has actually done a really damn good job currently of redesigning the internals of the PlayStation 5 to make the console itself much more lightweight. In fact, their current disc-based version of the PS5 now weighs as much as the all-digital version did at launch, which is pretty impressive. However, what's really interesting about this news is phasing out those old PS5s would mean that manufacturing PS5s would become much easier, meaning that you could make more and get them out to stores without really having to worry about making two different consoles, especially since these chipsets are actually starting to become much more readily available. In fact, I'm actually starting to see Xbox Series X consoles in stores physically for the first time in this console generation. That's right, 2 years into this current console generation, and I'm actually seeing those Series X's in person, which is pretty phenomenal. Now, as for the implications of this detachable drive, it's gotten me thinking, if you currently have an all-digital version of the PS5, you could theoretically buy this new detachable drive, attach it to your console, and you now have access to disc-based games, whether they be PS5 or PS4, which is really cool. So it's hopefully going to be a much cheaper alternative to allowing people to play their older games that are disc-based. I'm also wondering, would Sony be nice enough to also allow third-party companies to potentially create their own disc drives? It would probably be cheaper, but having an alternative would also be nice. So if your standard Sony drive goes down, you could go to Walmart and buy yourself a third-party drive, come back home and act like nothing has changed. And it also has me wondering about the next generation of consoles. I know we're only 2 years into our current generation, but it's very likely that these current iterations of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X could potentially be the last iteration of consoles that actually come with disk drives, which is where these detachable drives would come into play. And I'm starting to wonder if this is something that Microsoft could potentially be interested in doing as well. So that alone has really just gotten me interested in what the next version of these consoles are going to look like. What's our next console generation going to be? I'm somebody who still likes using physical media. It's nice to own something, especially if it's a game that I've been anticipating for a long time. So having the option in the future to just buy a physical detachable drive so I can use a disc is really nice and really interesting. So that's pretty much the video. Leave any of your guys' thoughts in the comments down below on what you think about the potential of this new detachable drive with a new iteration of the PlayStation 5. Is this something that you would be interested in? And do you think other companies like Microsoft or possibly Nintendo would consider adapting this idea for their own consoles? Leave those in the comments down below. I am Curious Corduroy. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.